We're going to go to Mr. Brock now for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Brennan. A couple of loose threads that I want to continue discussing with you based on questions you've received from colleagues. I get the overall impression that you wish to distance yourself from any formal or informal relationship with Mr. Christian Firth, and I could probably understand your motivation to do that, given that he's testified twice at this committee. His credibility is certainly an issue. He's been caught in a number of lies, and he's under investigation by the RCMP. So I'm going to give you an opportunity, sir, to reflect on my comments as I ask you further questions about your relationship with Mr. Firth. But before I do that, I want to go back to the original Bill Curry article in the Globe and Mail from early October that really sets out towards the latter end of the article about your involvement in the Bottler controversy and scandal with the government, and specifically the reporter reached out to you. You indicated to the reporter that your reference to having inside knowledge was a fabrication. You clarified that, and you said you fibbed, F-I-B-B-E-D, in an effort to put pressure on Ms. Dutt to take more action on the file. Now, we're all adults in the room. The last time I heard the word fibbed was in relation to my 5-year-old twins. They're 14 now, but they certainly don't use the word fibbed. I use the word lied. So do you admit, sir, that you definitely lied to Ms. Dutt to take so-called action on the file? Is that correct? Am I reading that correctly?
Chair, thank you for the question. No, I did not lie. There were conversations, open conversations around the use of GEDs, and that is what I used to identify people inside of the DPMO.
I'm going to stop you right there. You said you didn't lie, but you used the word fibbed. What's your definition of fibbed?
Well, if they don't recall the conversation, then the interpretation would be that I fibbed.
Sir, you're quoted as saying, I fibbed in an effort to put pressure on Ms. Dutt to take more action on the file. You are admitting this to Bill Curry, a reporter for the Globe and Mail. If that's not a definition of a lie, I don't know what is. What is your definition of fibbed? You'd have some great difficulty in this because you want to maintain your credibility, sir. But you've admitted to a reporter that you lied to your client, that you had a contractual relationship with.
We had marketing discussions based on hypothetical scenarios.
You deliberately lied to Ms. Dutt, a principal owner of Bottler AI, who had a contractual relationship with you to do a service on their behalf to make a connection with the government. And now you've now admitted to all of Canada, and certainly this committee, and to Bill Curry, that you deliberately lied to her. You wanted to exaggerate, correct?
Chair, thank you for the question. That's incorrect. Ms. Dutt was part of those conversations and well understood that that it was a marketing effort, and that we had several hypothetical scenarios given the workplace harassment management and GCAI adoption strategy were still evolving.
So did you lie to Bill Curry then by saying that you lied to Ms. Dutt? Is that a lie upon a lie?
It wasn't a lie upon a lie, sir. It was basically not trying to get...
It's your definition of fibbed. Okay, I'll take that. I don't know if Canadians will, but I'll accept that for the purposes of the time that I have. You then further respond to Bill Curry in an email and a follow-up phone call, and you quote, and you're quoted as saying, I did not and do not have any contacts within the Liberal government, nor in the PCO. Now, setting aside the PCO, based on what I've heard so far for the past 1/2 hour, that statement, again, would be a lie, because you've already referenced a number of government officials. It's not just, as you put it, I deal directly with directors and managers. You've dealt directly with deputy ministers, assistant deputy ministers, if not ministers themselves. So why are you continuing to lie, sir, is the question I put to you.
And I have to cut you off there, Mr. Brock, and I'm sorry, Mr. Brennan, you'll have to respond in Mr. Brock's next intervention. Mr. Brock, please, for 5.
Thank you, Chair. Following up on our line of discussion regarding lies and fibs, excuse me, I want to clarify something that I'm not sure I understand what your position is. In relation to the email that ultimately went to Deputy Prime Minister Freeland and her Chief of Staff, Broadhurst, what was the, who brought the idea forward? Who was the genesis of creating this particular document?
Chair, thank you for the question. It would be Bottler, the Bottler executive.
Your evidence is Bottler approaches you. Bottler has zero, apart from working with Justice Canada on a previous project, has zero inside knowledge with respect to any government employee and a member of the government. And they say, I think this is a great idea, Mr. Brennan. What do you think? And can you help us draft it? Is that what I'm led to believe, sir, is how it started?
No, I can actually shed a little more information on that. Again, thank you for the question, Chair. If you remember, CBC actually published just around the Christmas time, if you will, a whole article, if you will, on what was happening in the Governor General's office. In the Governor General's office, Madame Payette, I believe, had a few issues.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. My time is limited. If you could just help me, you're steadfast that it was Bottler's idea, right? Not your idea and not Christian Firth. Am I correct? Or no, sir? That's a yes.
Today, my idea was specifically to look at...
I'm looking at an email, sir, thank you. I'm looking at an email from your company. You're the owner and director of TLAV Consulting Limited. Email dated January 25th, 21 at 4:33 p.m. to Christian Firth. Subject, following up on Privy Council opportunity. Doesn't say just picked up an idea or a thought from Bottler. It says, following up on Privy Council opportunity. Christian, to our conversation this afternoon, I've pulled together research and a suggested path over the past 3 to 4 days to compile a deputy minister level email illustrating what I feel is pertinent to the value Bottler AI can provide. And you identify the Honourable Chrystia Freeland, Deputy Prime Minister, Government of Canada, and you include a draft letter. The only thing that was missing in the draft is details with respect to Ritika Dutt's phone number. So this, sir, did not come from Bottler, did not come from Ritika Dutt, did not come from Mr. Morv. It came from you. You did the research. You reached out to Christian. You worked on this over 3 to 4 days. And then I've got a series of emails back and forth between you and Bottler, and having Bottler make some suggested changes to the email, and you providing, sir, with the email address of Chrystia Freeland and her deputy minister, or sorry, chief of staff. So do you want to reflect on what you told the committee earlier, sir? Are you prepared to admit now that this was your idea, you thought of it, you cleaned it up, and you provided all the details to Bottler to send this email directly out to one of your government contacts in the Privy Council office?
Chair, thank you for the question. Yes, at Bottler's direction, thank you.
So ultimately, they have to give you direction, but you created the letter, did you not?
Based on Bottler's requirements and questions, yes.
You drafted it. It went back and forth, and finally you and Bottler settled on a final version. You gave Bottler all the email details, and Bottler sent it off, correct?
So at Bottler's direction, yes, I provided a draft, if you will, and I also went into KEDS and pulled down an email address, yes.
Making progress now. Is that time? Unfortunately, thank you.